on arrival. Alright, 10 flight, 62, 1096.
I've been a patrol officer for 5 years now, just over 5 years. I'm also the reserve coordinator for our volunteers. I'm a field training officer for all of our new hires, and my most recent role is detective. I'm also a corporal with the police department as well. Even before I started my career in law enforcement, I knew the biggest thing I wanted to do was to become a detective. It means a lot to me. I'm only in year 5 and I've already achieved that goal. The reason I got into law enforcement and was interested in it was because I watched a lot of Law and Order growing up. That's why, the detective position sparked my interest so much. Knowing a few police in my community where I grew up in Sault Ste. Paul, it was nice seeing how they interacted with the community and just having a general sense of being very curious too about what goes on within the cities sparked my interest. Obviously, it's a lot more than that, and the community involvement, the hoping to help somebody in some form or way is a huge thing for me too. Community engagement was a big selling point for me, especially with this department. They're huge on community engagement and very close with our citizens in our 3 cities. So I think it's very important to have. I personally mentor a student at Golden Lake Elementary, so that's a form of engagement as well. I think it's really awesome to get to know a student or multiple students. You got kids coming up to you all the time within the elementary schools. But it's nice to get to know and have them see that we're not just an officer, we're actually a person outside a uniform. We have a personality, we can be fun and nice and friendly, and the badge and the gun and the belt and the vest aren't as scary as it might seem. I've always been interested in getting out with the public, and especially as an officer, police officer. So it's nice to get to know your local residents. Our reserve program is all volunteers. You get a uniform. You do drive in a marked squad car. You can ride along with officers. Essentially they patrol the neighborhoods, they help out our officers, and they volunteer at the events throughout our cities throughout the year. It's a big help for us officers to have those reserves on. You make your own hours. Obviously, you're not getting paid for it, it's volunteer. But you make your own hours, you make of it what you want. You go to community events, you can transport people to jail for officers, you can transport people, to the gas station or whatever an officer needs you to help with. It's just a way to not only get to know the officers, but also help them and get out in your community. I am a big homebody, so I tend to, stay within my small circle. I don't get out much, but that's okay. I'm a big gym person, so I'm big into fitness, and that's kind of my getaway from home and the kids. And other than that, I like to read. I'm a big reader. True crime podcasts are a big thing for me. Shocker, I know I'm in the field and a detective now, but it's something I've always been into. Actually, within the last year, I've gotten married, I've bought a house, I've had a kid, and I've gotten to be the detective, so there's a lot of newness in my life. Once you have a kid, a lot of things change emotionally, mentally, physically, obviously too, for women. Having that experience with a child versus before not having a child, I can understand people a little more who are dealing with children, or having issues with a child or anything like that. It's a lot I understand now with some of the things that people go through, especially when it's a baby and they're so young and you're stressed out, you're not getting as much sleep, that type of thing, and still having to go to work and deal with life in general, work and life, and having a child who doesn't sleep. Yeah, it's a lot of work. So I can definitely see more so a relation with, people in the public and those who have children. You hope that something you're doing is making an impact, and that's also what drove me towards law enforcement in general. So.